Hi, my name is Alex Quinn, and this is environmental impacts of offshore drilling with some possible solutions. Now, before we get to these solutions, let's start with some of the problems. Throughout the offshore drilling process, there are aspects that impact our environment, although some may be less of an issue than others. The first big problem is that of water pollution. Aside from the obvious impact of oil spills, there are other instances where rigs can pollute the surrounding water. The drilling fluid, for example, is said to be toxic to marine life. Reports indicate that the health and reproduction of marine animals is affected, and populations have declined as a result. Now, oil spills are another issue entirely. Oil itself is devastating to marine life, and although the risk is small, there is still a risk of catastrophe at any rig. A single disaster like the one in California in 1969 could spill 200,000 gallons of oil over 800 square miles. A second problem is that of air pollution from the machinery operated on the rigs. It is estimated that in a single rig's lifetime, which is 10 to 20 years, it can produce as much as 7,000 cars driving 50 miles a day. Not only do these rigs pollute the air and water, but they also leave a physical impact from the rig and the oil pipelines, along with the ship transports that are used to move the oil. A surprising problem, however, is that of locating the oil. Seismic surveys that are used to find subterranean oil can affect marine life, especially whales, who are particularly sensitive. ExxonMobil actually recently had to suspend exploration efforts outside of Madagascar after 100 whales beached themselves from their seismic activity. When it comes to solutions that are being implemented today, some of the problems are currently being addressed. In response to arguably the biggest impact of offshore drilling, the process of offshore drilling has had a 99.99 safety record and has gone from 3.6 million barrels spilled in the 70s to less than 500,000 in the 90s. This is due to technological improvements and increasing regulations from the government. Additionally, due to regulations surrounding the fluid discharges from the rigs, specialists say that the toxicity of the fluid has already decreased to insignificant levels. Another solution is that of improving energy efficiency at home. Although it is indirect, this could apparently eliminate the need for offshore rigs. Opponents of drilling say that an improvement in efficiency standards would yield 3 million barrels per day nationwide, while the yield from offshore rigs ranges from 0.2 to 1 million. When it comes to problems with offshore drillings that aren't being addressed, here are a few ideas that could help find a solution. Before a rig can be installed, a site must be found and deemed suitable to build. This process could be made more thorough through an environmental assessment of the local area and its wildlife. Some areas are much more sensitive than others, and these sites would be more susceptible to any effects from a rig. If a site is too sensitive, a rig should not be built. The problem of seismic surveying can also be addressed through technological innovation. If the surveying technology evolved into using longer wavelengths and lower frequencies, like they do on land, it would greatly reduce how much the marine life is affected. This technique is currently being researched and is called marine vibrosis. Here is a picture of current seismic surveying activity. Finally, and although it is obvious it's still necessary, waste management would be an easy solution to the air pollution coming from the rigs. This machinery spews all kinds of toxic chemicals into the air, so we would either need to install a waste management system or innovate into new technology that can emit less than the current machinery. Now, there are two key factors that are essential when it comes to implementing my solution. The first of which is governmental support. To have any hope of innovating technology or improving regulations in this field, one must have the support of the government. Not only would this improve chemically related environmental regulations, but it would also help with the issue of seismic surveying. Seeing that the technique previously mentioned of marine vibrosis is still in development, any support would expedite the process and get this technology into the field much quicker, especially if companies were required through regulations to have longer wavelength technology. Finally, assessment teams are going to be needed to scan sites. This won't be a problem, however, as there are already teams in play for other types of energy that survey this kind of thing all the time. Unfortunately, aside from a lack of governmental support, there are a few snags when it comes to implementing these solutions. To start, it is extremely expensive. Rigs themselves average $500 million to build, and any sort of efficient upgrades would definitely break the bank. Additionally, scaling these costs nationwide would exponentially increase any improvement that was made through regulations. The same can be said for seismic surveying, as equipment is too expensive, and to replace the sonic guns would be quite the investment. Finally, the issue on oil scarcity could cause a problem when it comes to deeming a site usable or not. If a site is deemed unusable but people want the oil, it'll be hard to stop them. That being said, I'm confident that more regulations are to come in the future and that this problem can be solved. Thank you.